Hello and welcome. It's a brand new week and you're live here at Moneycontrol with me, Stacy Pereira, watching your dose of Newspresso. Well, in the next few minutes, we are going to be giving you a lowdown on all the top stories from across the globe, insight into what's happening within India Inc. and also the latest trends, giving you that edge and keeping you informed. So let's get straight to it and see what we're getting from our global dispatch. Well, if you look at Wall Street, indices on Wall Street did seem to have run out of steam following that recent rally that they saw. The stocks did slide on Friday with the Dow Jones losing over 200 odd points. The Nasdaq too closed over 1% lower. All three major averages, in fact, broke their multi-week winning streaks. The S&P 500 losing about 1.4%, ending the 5 consecutive weeks of gains, whereas the Nasdaq, that one snapped its 8-week winning streak to post its worst weekly performance since March. In fact, this morning, if you look at the Dow futures, those are trading in the green despite Wall Street's that first really 6 week of losses after 6 weeks. So that is something to be looking out for. Now, if you look at European stocks, those ones also closed lower. The gloomy week putting an end to that. One would say investors digesting the decision taken by central banks across. Now, the stock 600 index did close about 0.3% lower, and most sectors were in the negative. It was the oil and gas stocks which took the fall 2.2% lower, while oil prices were the ones that traded lower. Now, Siemens Energy, that spin-off of the German conglomerate, plunged about 37% in trade after ditching its profit outlook for the year because of issues in its wind turbine division. And if you look at Asia, Asian markets have opened mixed, picking up from those losses, one would say, on Friday. Now, South Korea's Kospi is in the green, though climbing about 0.45%. Mainland China, those markets have resumed trade today after that long holiday, but are trading lower, whereas in Japan, the Nikkei 225 has reversed its losses and has gained about just 0.14%. Now, we also have some data that came in from Singapore, where inflation has now slowed to about 5.1%, its lowest since March of 2022. And looking at commodities, where crude prices have seen some major swings last week, and it ended last week lower, but has since then picked up some bit of gains. The investors are worried about interest rate hikes and how that could hamper demand despite signs of tighter supplies, including that lower US crude stockpile that we saw. Now, Brent crude is trading near $74 per barrel currently, though the recession fears and demand concerns outweigh the signs of those supply side tightness. And in India, now after 5 consecutive weeks of gains, we saw the Indian equity markets close the week in the negative on Friday, but it was an eventful week nonetheless. We saw the Sensex hit a new lifetime high, as well as the Nifty was just shy of 1 point short, establishing a new record high. Now, the selling pressure, however, is likely to continue, and a few more sessions that we could see amidst this consolidation. Now, the broader markets also caught that bear trap. We saw the Nifty mid-cap 100 and the small cap 100, both these indices decline about 1% each as investors book profit following that strong recent rally. We also have the monthly expiry this week, so there is possibility of that volatility to increase as we near to that June 29th expiry date. And talking about primary markets, where all the action is now headed, the IPO street has definitely picked up pace as we enter that second half of the year. We have Idea Forge, the drone manufacturer, which will hit primary markets today, June 26. The public issue has comprised of about 240 crore of a fresh issue, as well as an offer for sale. Now, the offer includes a reservation for subscription for its eligible employees as well. The company has fixed a price band of 638 to 672 per equity share for the IPO, and is looking to raise about 567 crores from this issue. Now, investors can bid for a minimum of 22 shares and in multiples thereafter. Other than this, we are also seeing 2 main board IPOs, as well as 4 from the small and medium enterprise or SME segment that will be hitting the Lal Street this week. And seems like there's a sigh of relief for GoFirst. Now, creditors of the cash-strapped airline have approved the interim finance of about 400 odd crores aimed at reviving the airline. Now, while an in-principle approval for the interim finance has been granted, The plan is subject to the board's approval of the respective banks giving their approval for the same. Now, the Committee of Creditors, or COC, will include a Central Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, Deutsche Bank, as well as IDBI Bank. Now, all of those will be needed to give their approval, and the request for the same has been sent. Now, with lenders extending this helpful hand, all eyes will now be on the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, or DGCA, which is currently examining the application as well as submission by the airlines to get back its business. Remember, it was on May 2nd that GoFirst announced that it had filed an application of voluntary insolvency resolution proceedings before the National Companies Law Tribunal. And well, from the startup side, we have edtech firm Byju's, which has offered its investors that it will be submitting its audited financial statements for FY22 by September. Now, the company also said that it will submit the FY23 results by the end of December this year. Now, the address to edtech firms Financial Affairs, Byju's founder Baiju Ravindran and the CEO Ajay Goyal conducted a briefing with 75 shareholders recently, and during the meeting, Goyal assured the company's intentions to submit its FY22 and FY23 results. The development comes after Deloitte resigned as Byju's statutory auditor. Byju's has appointed BDO as the next statutory auditor for the next 5 years from FY22. And Prime Minister Modi visited Egypt after concluding his state visit in the US. He tweeted that his visit to Egypt was historic and he was conferred with the Arab country's highest honor, the honor of the Nile. Now, he did hold talks with the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, where they did go ahead and review India and Egypt relations, as well as have agreed to strengthen the economic as well as cultural ties. PM Modi has left for India after concluding his visit to the US as well as Egypt. And to all the stories that are buzzing, one could say, or the trends that we are tracking. Well, on Friday, we did tell you about the two tech giants challenging each other to a cage match. Well, at first, it wasn't clear if both are serious about it, but it is, as it turns out, both are dead serious about the match, and fans can perhaps buy tickets for the match as well. While UFC President Dana White has said that he spoke with both the billionaires Elon-Mark as well as Mark Zuckerberg about their social media brawl, where White said that both of them are serious, and White is already in the early stage of planning how to put the fight together. Well, if you wish to see these two tech giants up against each other, it will perhaps cost fans about $100 for that ticket. Now, over $1 billion will go ahead and be raised from this fight if at all it goes down to that cage. And from global billionaires to the ones back home, Reliance Industries chairman Mukesh Ambani and head of Mahindra Group Anand Mahindra had to hail a Uber in Washington, D.C. Well, we tell you how the story went down, but it was after they were attending that state dinner held in honor of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, Anand Mahindra took to Twitter to narrate the incident, calling it a Washington moment for them, where he described how the two missed the group shuttle bus that was arranged for them and hence were trying to hail an Uber. And coincidentally, at that time, they did bump into NASA astronaut Sunita Williams and asked if they could hitch a ride from her instead. And that's the picture that they put out on Twitter. So definitely not used to seeing billionaires taking Ubers, but that was the moment that we did get to witness. And let's give you a quick update of what you can watch out for today. Well, we do have Prime Minister Modi, who will be inaugurating 5 Vande Bharat trains today. Among them is the Madgaon-Mumbai train that is much anticipated. We also have the EPFO deadline, that is to apply for a higher pension. That one ends today. So if you're somebody who's looking forward to that, that is something you should be doing, because the EPFO so far has received about 12 lakh applicants for this higher pension. And of course, the monsoon is here, so one needs to be watchful for, well, the Met Department has issued an orange alert for Delhi as well as a yellow alert for Mumbai. So that is something that people who are stepping out would need to consider. Well, with that, it's a wrap. I hope this dose of Newspresso was a useful and informative one and gives you that kick start to your day. Don't forget to come back tomorrow, same place, same time, for for your fresh shot of Newspresso. From everyone putting this team together and me, Stacy Pereira, thanks for tuning in.